Good morning children. Today we will see a small revision for our upcoming exam, which is lesson number 3 and 4 will be there for your test. So in the lesson number 3, which was describing about the force. So what is force? It is a push or pull. What are the effects of the force? It will make the body move, it will stop the body, it will change the direction of the body, it will change the speed of the body, or it will change the shape and size of the body. Then we saw the effects and we saw every example for all the effects. Then coming to the types of forces. Types of forces, we have two types. One is contact, another one is non-contact. Contact is nothing but the body will be in contact with the force. That is why it is called as contact force. There we will have these types: normal force, frictional force, applied force, spring force and the tension force. Normal force is nothing but if the body is in contact with another body. If the book is lying on the table, then it is called a normal force. Nobody is pushing or pulling the book. The book is simply lying on the table. Now coming to the friction force, that is the body is objecting the motion of the another body. One body is objecting. Objecting means it is moving in the opposite direction to stop it. Okay, that is called, it is called opposing force. Then applied force. Applied force is nothing but you are going to apply the force on the body, like the weightlifter lifting the weights. Coming to the spring force, the force applied on the spring. Okay, that is called the spring force, and which we see it in the spring balance when it is stretched. Okay, then the tension force. Tension force is which is the one which is transmitted through the rope, as in the case of the tug of war. That is when the girl is pulling this rope, the tension in the rope or the force is being transmitted through the tension in the rope. Okay, that is why the example on the swimming also. So when the person is moving in the forward direction, okay, that is the action force will be here and the reaction force will be in the opposite direction, because every action will have an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, so when the swimmer is pushing the water backwards, the body is being pushed in the front. That is, it will be pushed in the front. Okay, coming to the non-contact forces, that is, there will be no contact between the objects at all. Okay, like magic, like in the magic show when they are saying that they pulling the kerchief, and from the kerchief they will be pulling a they will be waving the wand. This is not the magic wand. So likewise, the two objects will not be having any contact at all. So that is why this is called the force is known as the action at a distance. Okay, so from a distance only it will be acting. Like the first one is the gravitational force, second one is the electrostatic force, and the third one is the magnetic force. Gravitational force we know because we can experience this. They say the fruit is falling from the tree. Okay, the fruit is not at all in contact with the body. Which body we are talking here is earth, because earth only is exerting the gravitational force. So the fruit is not at all in contact with the earth, but the fruit is falling down to earth. Okay, because of the force exerted by the earth. So the gravitational force is because of the attraction from the earth. Okay, so it is the force of attraction. Okay, so that is why when you throw a ball up, it will always come down. Okay, then coming to the concept of electrostatic force. What is this electrostatic force? That is the force between the charged particles. Charged particles, how are we going to charge the particles? We charge it by rubbing a silk rod with a iron rod with the silk, or a glass rod with the silk. Then by things we can charge it. Okay, the pith ball is, the charged ball is called the pith ball. All this are charged. So when the charged particles are repulsed, or they are either attracted or they are moving away. Either they are moving away or they are attracted. In that case, this force is called as electrostatic force. See here also the force, the charges are not in contact with each other. Okay, so either they will be repel or they will be attracting. So like charges will repel, unlike charges will be attracted. Okay. Then that is how we saw the electrostatic force. Okay. Then coming to the magnetic force, that is each magnet will have two poles. One is the north pole and other one is the south pole. So the poles will be attracting or repulsing. If they are attracting, that means unlike poles will attract and the like poles will be repulsive. So two poles, that is either they are repelling or they are attracting. That is what they have shown here in this example. South north, north south. Here they will be repelling because both the forces are same. Here say the poles are different, so they will be attracting. Okay. So what is this magnetic field? The region around the magnet is called the magnetic field. Okay. Now coming to measurement of force, we are going to measure the force, okay, with magnitude, direction and with value. And then you should write the SI unit, which is Newton, for the force. So this is how you are going to measure. Okay, you are going to measure the force, that is you are going to apply 2 Newton in this direction. Okay, so magnitude is 2, direction is shown in the arrow and Newton is the unit. Then coming to the resultant forces, if they are acting in the same direction we will be adding, but if they are acting in the opposite direction we have to subtract the smaller one from the larger one and you should give the direction of the larger one itself. Okay. Then we came across the spring balance. Spring balance is nothing but the weight which is tied on the spring. Okay. Then it will be shown on the reading. The weight will be shown. Okay. Then what is this friction? Friction is the resistive force. Resistive force acting between the two bodies, and it will be always acting in the opposite direction of the motion of the body. Okay. Then this will be depending upon the nature of the surfaces of in contact. If they are smooth, the friction is less. If they are rough, friction is more. Okay. That is what they are saying. And we are talking about the types of friction. It is static friction and another one is kinetic friction. Static friction, that is when the two surfaces are in contact but there is no relative motion. There is no motion at all but they are in contact. That is called as static friction. And the maximum value of the static friction before motion, just before moving, just before starting to move, is called as limiting friction. And then coming to the kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is what? The friction between two surfaces when the bodies are in motion. It can be on the relative motion or on the same direction. So the two types of kinetic friction are sliding friction and rolling friction. Sliding, when the surface is sliding over a surface, when the body is sliding over the surface. Here when the object is rolling over the surface, it is called as rolling friction. Okay. Now coming to the effects of friction. Effects, friction will cause heat, it will reduce the speed, it will cause the wear and tear of the material. Advantages, without friction we cannot walk, we cannot run, we cannot hold anything, and the pulley method is all done because of this friction. Then coming to the disadvantages of the friction, the heat is very bad. The heat produced due to friction is very undesirable. Then it will cause wear and tear of the material, it will have more fuel consumption, and it will cause sounds and heat, noise, everything. Okay. Then it will have to have a larger force to overcome the friction. Coming to the methods to minimize the friction. How are we going to minimize the friction? We are going to minimize the friction by making the two surfaces smooth. We are going to smoothen the surface, first point. Second, we can apply lubricants. Lubricants like oil, grease, graphite powder, everything is the lubricant. And then third point is, instead of sliding, okay, we can go for rolling. That is why all the trolley or the trolleys in the shopping malls will have a wheel attached. Okay, because the wheel will move easier. That is, the rolling friction is less than the sliding friction. And then the friction which is caused due to the air is taken care by the streamline shaped, or the shape like the shape of the fish or the bird. That is how taken care in the vehicles. When the vehicle is in the shape of a streamlined body, it will be reducing the friction due to air. Okay. Then the methods to increase friction by increasing the roughness of the surface and by increasing the mass of the object. That is how they are done. For adding the spikes for the athlete foot, by adding the treads in the tires. Okay. Then the rackets will have a hold. Okay. So this is how we saw in all the topic under force. The force that opposes the motion of the body is called frictional force. The rolling friction is lesser than the sliding friction. The irregularities on the surfaces will cause the friction, and use of lubricants will decrease the friction. Okay, coming to the exercise. Force can stop a moving body, change the shape of the body, change the direction of the moving body, and all of these. Which among the following is an example of contact force? Friction. Identify the non-contact force here. Magnetic force is the non-contact. Two forces, 10 Newton, acting in the same direction. So 10 plus 10, 20 Newton. Sliding friction is a type of a kinetic friction. And which is the most disadvantage of the friction is it reduces the speed of the moving vehicle. Writing the true or false. Gravitational force is a contact force. False. Roughness is increased, friction is decreased. False. Rolling friction is greater than the sliding friction. False. It will not be possible to walk in the absence of friction. True. Friction cannot be reduced. False. Friction causes wear and tear. True. The applied force is an example of contact force. Gravitational force is always a pull force. It is not the push force. And a vehicle always slow down when the brakes are applied is because of the friction. And we use lubricants to reduce friction. And matching contact force, we will be having our spring force. Non-contact force, magnetic force. Friction, we have opposing force. Isaac Newton, law of gravitation. And the definition, differentiation, give reasons, all things I have given in your notes. Okay. Now coming to the fifth lesson, energy. We are talking here about the machines. What is a simple machine? A machine will make our life easier, and in simple machine we are going to use our day-to-day daily work. It will multiply the magnitude of the force, it will change the direction of the force, it will change the point of application of the force and gaining the speed. So all these are the properties here, but before that we should know what is load, fulcrum, effort. Load is nothing but the weight of the object is called the load. Fulcrum is the fixed point about which the load is or the simple machine is moving. Effort is the force applied to do the work. So these three definitions are very, very important. Then mechanical advantage is equal to load by effort. Okay. What is the efficiency? Output work done by the machine by the energy supplied into 100 will give you the efficiency. Now coming to what is lever. Okay. There are 6 types of simple machines. First one is lever, pulley, inclined plane, wheel and axle, wedge, and the last one is the screw. Lever is a simple machine where we are going to apply the force at one end and the effort is done at the other end. Okay, so it is a simple fixed point. You will have the fulcrum. The whole machine will move about it. So the load is under some time, effort or the force is applied on the other end, and the distance between the load and the fulcrum is called the load arm, and the distance between the fulcrum and the effort is called the effort arm. Okay, then accordingly our mechanical advantage will become effort arm by the load arm. Arm is the distance. Okay, so the mechanical advantage of a lever is given by the ratio of the effort arm to the load arm. This is for the lever. Okay, lever is a simple machine, so that is what the lever is. Now coming to the 3 types of levers. Okay, first one is the class 1 lever, class 2 lever, and the third one is the class. First one is class 1 lever. So here fulcrum is in the middle. Okay, and mechanical advantage can be less than 1, equal to 1 or greater than 1. Class 2 lever, here load is in the middle. Okay, here then what will happen? Your load is in the middle, so your mechanical advantage will be greater than 1. Okay, and then in the class 3 lever, effort is in the middle, so your mechanical advantage is less than 1. You should know only these 3 points. And coming to the examples, you should know the example. For class 1, it is scissors. For class 2, it is the nutcracker or the lemon juice extractor, anything. And class 3, it is the tong or the stapler. And this human body also, we have the class 3 levers. Accordingly, you should know where and where. Okay. Then coming to the pulley. Pulley is a simple machine where you have a grooved wheel where it is rotating and you can pull the load from one end. You apply the effort on one end and you can pull the load. Okay, you apply the effort and the load will be lifted up. You have 2 types of pulley, single fixed pulley and single movable pulley according to the axis of rotation. Then the inclined plane, you know how the to lift heavy objects we can use the inclined plane like our staircase or the slides which we see in the parks. Wheel and the axle, obviously you know what is the wheel. Wheel is the simple machine and the axle is the rotation, axis of the rotation. Okay, then coming to the wedge. Wedge is nothing but one which has 2 planes and it will meet at a sharp edge. 2 planes which are meeting at the sharp edge, and example is the knife and the axe. Okay, and screw, inclined plane which is having a screw is nothing but the inclined plane. Okay, on which we are rotating the thread. Okay, and we can use see, a screw is considered to be an inclined plane wound around a straight rod. Okay, then it is a nail with the grooves and you can use the screwdriver to remove it and it can be tightened with the same screwdriver. It is mainly to join or attach the things. It is used in the furniture or in the toys. Okay, now hilly road. What is the thing we will be using, or what is that? It is the inclined plane. And the doorknob you are rotating, so that is wheel and axle. Then wheelbarrow, what is class 2 lever. Axe, it is wedge. Catapult is class 1 lever. Okay, coming to the exercises, mechanical advantage of lever is given by effort arm by load arm. Okay, then which among the following is a class 2 lever? Wheelbarrow. Okay, screwdriver belongs to screw. Then which one of the following is an example of an inclined plane road in the hilly area? A woodcutter makes use of the wedge. Then coming to the fill in the blanks, the force applied on a simple machine to do work is called effort. Okay, the force applied is to do the work is called effort. One more thing, the screwdriver will belong to which category? It is not on the screw. See, the screw is a simple machine, but screwdriver is not belonging to screw. No, this is belonging to the wedge. See, in the wedge there is one point, the sharp edge will be able to penetrate into objects. See, the screwdriver will be having a sharp edge. Okay, you can check your screwdriver at home, it will be having a sharp edge. Then only we can keep it inside that wedge and we can be tightening the screw. Okay, so the answer here is wedge, it cannot be screw. Then the beam balance used to measure mass is class 1. The simple machine with a grooved pulley, wheel and a rope is called pulley. Then dash is an example of the wedge. Knife. Steering of the vehicles is an example of wheel and axle. Catapult, example of class 1 lever. True. Class 3 will have mechanical advantage greater than 1. No. Bottle opener, example of class 2 lever. True. Then the single fixed pulley does not decrease the effort. That is true. A wedge will have 2 sharp ends. A wedge will have 2 sharp ends? No. It will have only sharp edge. Only one sharp edge. So it is false. So the knife, you can match it with wedge. Doorknob, it is again wheel and axle. The tongue is a lever. Ladder is an inclined plane. Nail with grooves is a screw. Okay, the definitions and the short answers I have given. So coming to this one word, what do you call the tools and devices which reduce our effort? We are called machines. Which class of the levers the fulcrum is between? That is class 1. What is the fixed point? It is called fulcrum. Name the class of levers that has mechanical advantage more than one. Class 2. To which class of levers does a beam balance? That is class 1. Name the single pulley whose mechanical advantage is more than one is movable pulley. Okay, single movable pulley will have mechanical advantage more than one. Okay, you should know all this 1 mark also. Learn all the short answers and learn the detailed answers which I have given in the notes. Okay children, thank you.